Hey, how's it going, everybody? Gonna be playing a game called Tyranny. Seems kinda apt.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Narad, spymaster and Archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Grave in Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tunon brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
Alright, so for those curious, this is gonna be our character here. She is called a Viper. She was a hunter. When the leader of your home village spoke out of turn one too many times, agents from the Overlord put the whole town to the torch to contain the spread of insubordination. The bounding Viper tribe came across the smoking ruins of your village, and when the beast's matriarch found you frozen but unafraid, the mighty leader took you in and raised you with the protection of her tribe. For years you lived with these wild beastmen in their migratory homes throughout the mountains, but the bounding vipers were a dying breed. Each long winter took a greater toll than the last, and once the dwindling tribe was too weak to defend its lands, disfavored soldiers came to dispense of the ravenous scavengers your tribe had become. Finding a human amongst the wild tribe, the disfavored soldiers made a point of taking you alive. News of the wild child of the north eventually spread to the Archon of Justice, and he ordered you released from captivity and delivered unto his court. Oh man. So, yeah, she's gonna be an unarmed, straight up unarmed, just gonna punch the fuck out of things. Our banner is a goddamn snake, obviously, because her name is Viper. She's from the fucking Viper tribe, letting that tribe live on through her. Our stats, I threw with fucking 16 finesse, 12 quickness. That's about all I fucked with. Skills, got 50 right out the gate and unarmed, because, you know what, we're gonna punch things real fucking hard. And then our athletics is 40, 30, I don't know what any of this is gonna do. I honestly have no fucking clue. I'm hoping that this is a good setup. We're gonna do the conquest. Selecting conquest option allows you to fucking conquest. Alright, let's do that. Next thing. Come on, time to conquest.
All the world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. Two armies, the disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tiersmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tiers sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors. Until it's too late.
Scarlet Chorus, best chorus. Alright, what we got here? Conquest. During Conquest, you assign your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the Tiers, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character, and how major factions of Tiers will respond to you. Your decisions matter. Choose wisely. That's one of the reasons I like this game. Or at least the idea of the game, because I don't really know a whole ton about it. Other than Scarlet Chorus is fucking awesome. So we're probably going to try to side with them. The Bastard City. Bastard City stood in the northern border between Kairos Empire and the Tiers, built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms. The city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tiers, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' army. Taking the city would send a message to the rest of Tiers. Kairos' will is insurmountable, goddammit. Literally a god. Can't fuck with this. Alright, so what do we got here? What options do we have? What is this? Gates of Judgment. The armies of Kairos took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, trumpeting the opening calls of conquest of the Tiers, and the two armies that disfavored in the Scarlet Chorus brought their distinctive sense of order and chaos to the assault. You went to the battle alongside the army whose approach best suited your strengths. Hold on now. What's this one? Infiltrate the Tiers. History would remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the conquest, but the real combat unfolded with the advanced units of both armies. See, this sounds like something we should do first. Preparing for the coming war, the disfavored and the Scarlet Quarters each had a plan to infiltrate the capital city. Which army did you join? Well, let's see, disfavored, captured garrison, early victory, You joined the Scarlet Chorus as they raided the villages and small towns, conscripting every able-bodied man and woman into the army. The voices of Nereid emphasized the rewards of conscription and enslavement over wanton bloodshed. Apparently his soldiers needed the reminder. Fuck yeah, Scarlet Chorus. Alright, howling mobs of the Scarlet Chorus found easy pickings among the villages and frontier towns, rallying the experienced gang under your control. You flooded the unprotected settlements with a deluge of bloodthirsty soldiers, rounding up the innocent for merciless rites of conscription. The young and infirm alike received makeshift weapons, and examples were made of all who challenged your forces. Bolstered with fresh recruits, your army gathered strength for the invasion to come. Alright, I suppose. Okay, so we had an option between these two. Makes sense. I probably should have maybe thought about that a little bit more. Alright, so we'll definitely read both of these ones then. Something about fire mages. Bastard City resident fire mages threaten the first leg of the conquest. Containing the fire, your fiercest opponents in the Bastard City were the mages of the School of Wild Wrath, too barbaric to use their power responsibly. The unbridled practitioners needed to be stopped. How did you trick the hot-tempered mages into their own undoing? Or, inside agent, you found an ally within the city to prepare the way. With the border garrison captured by disfavored allies, you traveled ahead of Kairos' armies and lurked in the shadows of the Bastard City. You decided that converting one of the locals to Kairos' side would help bring the city to its knees after all corruption starts from within. What the fuck? Why would I want to do this? Also, a smuggler who knows a secret agent. No. What? Why would I want to do that? It says fire mages. You tricked the guild elders into meeting with the voices of Nearad, Archon of Secrets. The Archon was notorious for his cruel and mysterious interrogation techniques. The mages were never seen again. Oh no. Ambush. Well, sorry, fire mages. I don't know, is this the better option? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, fire mages. There were few who could describe what horrors the Archon of Secrets visited upon his enemies during the conquest. Whether the elder mages knew little of the Archon's reputation, or met with him out of curiosity, didn't matter. Once the flap of the Archon's tent closed, none of them were heard from again, save for the struggling cry of alarm that ended just as swiftly. Leaderless, the school of wild wrath fell into disorder, and the remaining members were slain by the disfavored, or conscripted into the Scarlet Chorus. Betrayal of the Bastard City. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the Bastard City ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city defenses for the arrival of Kairos' forces, but you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How did you assist in the fall of Bastard City? Betrayal. Spread fear through assassination. What? Duel the city marshal. Incite a riot. Assassination. What does this symbol mean? Keeping to the shadows, you eliminated the leaders of the Bastard City one by one. So I could just... what? Self? What does this mean? I just straight up do it myself, I suppose. Oh, what's this ability? Oh, this gives you abilities? Concealing shadow. That looks like it's pretty good. Searing palm. Actually, that's not bad either. Warriors respite. Oh boy, we're doing the fucking Scarlet Core. Spreading the word of Kairos, you converted the poor and disaffected into a hidden army of the Scarlet Chorus. Once the dust settled, the army wished to bolster their troops with these sleeper cells. Yeah, we're fucking doing that. Didn't take much time to convince the Bastard Cities downtrodden that Kairos was the superior power. You armed them with weapons and knowledge of a signal you would rise when the time was right. As the armies appeared outside the walls, you ignited the spark that fanned their anger into a full-scale riot. The chaos they spread in Kairos' name weakened the city to such an extent that its inevitable fall was but a formality. Sorry, Bastard City. I just governmented you. I just pulled a government on you. The Bastard City settled into a new state of normalcy, with every tower displaying Kairos' banner. Your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Tunon sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as judge and overseer of the settlement of Lethine's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realm of the Apex. You may only choose one of these locations. Oh no. What are these things then? What are they? The Apex? The troops of the mountain realm of Apex stood inside the safety of their valley, biding their time, as their neighbors in the Bastard tier fell. In the second year of war, a joint force of the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus crossed over the mountains to take control of the tier's central valley. Or Leviathan's Crossing. Deposits of iron made the settlements of Leviathan's Crossing a strategic war asset. Kyra sent the forge-bound smith mages of exceptional skill to establish a flow of weaponry. Tuon, the adjudicator, sent one of his fate binders to ensure the law of Kairos' law. Yeah, Apex sounds like it might be interesting. It's got the Mountain Realm or whatever. Scarlet Chorus is over there, taking control of shit. Central Valley. This is just kind of like deposits of iron and shit, which is useful. I mean, it's useful though. Nah, we're doing Apex. Yeah, we're doing Apex. There's probably more people to kill in Apex. Which means there's also more people to conscript. Join us, comrades. The mountain nation of Apex, ruled for generations by the queens of House Vendrin, stood at the heart of the tiers. No army could bypass the landlocked realm without leaving their flank exposed to attack. By the second year of the war, the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus had pushed deep into the tier. Elements of both armies were dispatched to conquer Apex. Tuon assigned you to accompany them, tasked with bringing Kairos' law to the territory as well as keeping an eye on both armies. Oh, what do we got here? The Battle of Enderabed Pass. The Archon of Stone's assault was perhaps too successful. Okay. Denial of Strength. A new school of mages presented problems and opportunities. Okay, what is this? Mages? A school of water mages loyal to the Tiersmen posed a substantial threat. The disfavored wished to annihilate the school, while the Scarlet Chorus insisted on capturing the mages, wishing to learn of their craft. That sounds way more fucking useful. Holy shit. What is this going to give us? The disfavored sent their most destructive ally to crush Enderbaford, Caner, Arcane of Stone, buried the stronghold under the avalanche triggered from the surrounding mountains. The Scarlet Chorus were promised captured enemies for recruitment, yet none survived the onslaught. The Chorus demanded compensation. Side with the Scarlet Chorus? Or... wait... So they fucked up and... alright, whatever. Mages sound really useful. Capture the mages. He sided with the Scarlet Chorus, ordering the elder mages to capture for interrogation. Though countless lives were taken, were lost taking the mages into custody, the Scarlet Chorus praised your name as they dragged the beaten elders of the School of the Voices of Nerat's tent. As a wave of screams and incoherent pleas reached their crescendo, the Scarlet Chorus soldiers outside cheered for their Archon. The disfavored adjourned the camp in grim silence, claiming the Chorus lacked the will and desire to fully wipe out all traces of the enemy school. Well, it's more useful to have them on our side. Poisoning a well. Poor communication led to the gruesome death of disfavored scouts. Or captive captain. Kairos' forces debate over the fate of an enemy captain. This sounds like what we're gonna do. Poisoned well, hoping to break the siege. Scarlet Chorus agents poisoned the Aspect water, and days later, uninformed Crusader scouts died of illness, outraged by the failure of the communication between Chorus agents to turn over punishment. No, we're not doing that. When Kairos' forces captured a celebrated enemy hero, the armies bickered over his fate. The disfavored wanted him set free to convince his peers of Kairos' mercy. Ha! Fools! The Scarlet Chorus wanted him flayed and staked as an example. Obviously, used the captain's body as a grim warning. You executed the captain and had his remains fashioned into a terrifying display. Fear was the Scarlet Chorus's most compelling weapon, and you knew what its impact would resonate across the Apex army. Against the better wishes of tradition, mercy, or even good taste, you had the enemy captain drawn and quartered by a team of enthusiastic Scarlet Chorus butchers. Once the prisoner was dismembered, the butchers took great pleasure in reassembling his parts with stitching, cloth, and wooden poles, fashioning a crude totem of disorder. They mounted him on a hillside, where the warning of the grim spectacle haunted all who passed. The fall of Apex. Days of watching their captain's body rot in the sun weakened the resolve of the Apex defenders. They reached out to Kairos' forces and sued for peace. I didn't know you could sue somebody for peace. I'm gonna sue you for fucking peace. Hesitant that such an arrangement could be honored. Me too. Given the brutality of your conquest, how did you orchestrate the surrender of the enemy? Through sheer brutality. The fall of Apex. Challenge the Queen or negotiate surrender? Obviously. Taunting the Queen of Apex into striking you under a banner of truce, you baited the Queen of Apex into a duel and slew her, frightening her vassals into submission. Yeah, the Scarlet Chorus urged you to show the Overlord's strength by any means necessary. During peace talks, a well-placed insult goaded the Queen of Apex into striking you. You responded to the slight by challenging her to a duel. Though the Queen was skilled in battle, your field experience outmatched her court training, and her body lay cooling on the ground. You demanded that her followers kneel before the Overlord's banner. Unable to rise above the fear of the moment, the remaining leaders capitulated, surrendering the Valley of Kairos to Kairos' forces. Well, get fucked, Apex, I'm sorry. I don't know. I guess not. We're at war. Just how shit is. The land of Apex finally rested in the hands of Kairos' forces. The Scarlet Chorus paused to revel in victory, while the disfavored prepared for the next fight, affording themselves but an evening's rest. Kairos' armies radiated out of the conquered citadel and worked their way across the tiers. The disfavored and Scarlet Chorus' armies dominated as much territory as possible in the coming year. Your distinguished reputation in Kairos' military left the choice of your next destination for you to make. Oh man, are we gonna go to Stalwart? With its easily defended position and rich military tradition, the realm of Stalwart was the most formidable realm in the tiers. Azure, Kairos dispatched the Archon of Stone to subjugate the nation of Azure. Kairos' conquering gaze fell upon the Valium Citadel, its treasures, its knowledge, its secrets. Secrets, knowledge, power. But if this is the most formidable realm, we might be able to get stronger soldiers. But this seems to have more resources. I'm going to go with Stalwart. Let's go Stalwart. Let's see what Stalwart has to give us. It's year 3 of Kairos' conquest. Kairos is an actual literal fucking god. The realm of Stalwart was best known for its proud army, disciplined, courageous, and undefeated on their home soil. Skill and resolve made Stalwart a military power that Kairos' forces approached with due caution. With its southern position, Stalwart had been largely safe from war, watching for 2 years as its neighbors fell to Kairos' forces. On the dawn of the 3rd year of war, Kairos' forces were finally poised to invade the Stalwart Peninsula. and subdue the tier's most vaunted army. Alright, what is this? Marching on empty. Tragedy struck when hungry Scarlet Corps soldiers appropriated disfavored supplies. We know what that means. A contained... God damn it. A contained... God damn it. Why can't I say this word? Contentious. There we go. Setback. A stinging defeat led to accusations among Kairos' army. Fuck. Stinging defeat. I don't think it wants us to do that. Maybe we should. What are the options here? After a defeat at the hands of enemy defenders, the Scarlet Corps accused the disfavored of recklessness. The disfavored claimed the Scarlet Corps brought too few soldiers to cover their flanks. Both armies refused to march until you give a ruling. The fuck does this even mean? Alright. Stalwart defenders burned their crops as they retreated, leaving the invaders little to forage. Starving, the Scarlet Corps mob raided from the disfavored, well-maintained supply lines, incurring casualties on both sides. Ordered disfavored to share supplies. The Scarlet Corps... I'm not going to punish the Scarlet Corps. Why are both of these just ways of punishing the Scarlet Corps? Fuck the fucking disfavored or whatever. Yeah, you share your supplies. By your command, the disfavored shared their provisions. The thieves each lost a hand for their treachery. Scarlet Corps commanders argued that the horde was starving. Being the largest of Kairos' armies, they were also the least provisioned. The men were wrong to steal, but the disfavored were equally wrong to withhold supplies from their allies. You agreed with the chorus's version of events and ordered that the disfavored supplies be shared. The thieves themselves would be punished with loss of a hand and returned to the front lines. The disfavored found this a sickening aberration of justice and surrendered their supplies with grudging acceptance. You think this is an aberration of justice? Have you not been paying attention? We're aberrating the fuck out of justice. The beasts of Stalwart. A new Crimson Corps tactic provoked disfavored rage. Of course it did. Better dead than red. Oh. Oh no. Are we the communists? Oh, are we the communists? A string of mass suicides led to the Scarlet Corps making demands of the disfavored. What does that even mean? Rather than submit to Scarlet Corps conscripts and conquered locals began committing suicide. Oh, that's what that means. Desperate to add more bodies to the horde, the Scarlet Corps demanded a portion of disfavored prisoners. The disfavored denied the right of recruitment. Yeah, it's kind of hard to defend that. What is this one? Scarlet Corps mages discovered a spell to turn beastmen slaves against their handlers. The army prepared to deploy this tactic elsewhere, but the disfavored protested the use of unsanctioned magic. Who gives a shit? Magical practices ran contrary to Kairos' law, and the beastmen were considered too erratic to be relied upon even as shock troops. Who gives a shit? Yeah, fucking agree with Scarlet Corps. You approved of Scarlet Corps' new innovation and ruled this technique an acceptable use of wartime magic. The disfavored lambasted you for authorizing such a risky tactic. Kairos' armies also relied on beastmen haulers, and the disfavored argued such magic would inevitably unravel supply lines and logistics. Well, I didn't know that. Maybe you should have told me that sooner, dumbass. The chorus, on the other hand, were emboldened by the decree and considered you an honorable patron of arcane inquiry. Through the Scarlet Corps' struggle to maintain a presence in Stalwart, this magic for encouraging beastmen slaves was used to bloody effect throughout the countryside. Oh boy. that his favored carved a slow, steady path into the heart of Stalwart, surrounding the enemy's massive fortress with the main bulk of their forces defeated. The enemy leadership retreated to their mighty fortress, content to wait out the war. The Overlord answered this imprudence with an edict of storms. Hey, Lewis, on the storms of the peninsula, a devastating spell that would endure for as long as the cowardly hearts of Stalwart's leaders persisted in beating, knowing before anyone else that the edict would occur. The voices of Nereid lobbied for you to deliver this mighty incantation. Aside from being given a 3-day window to read the edict, you received no other instructions. Alright. Warn the people or give no warning? Scarlet Chorus, baby! In an attempt to integrate themselves with the people of Stalwart, the Scarlet Chorus insisted that warning be sent to the towns and villages so the people may prepare for the horror about to descend on them. Kyrus's wrath was intended for the cowardly regents of Stalwart, not those unfortunates swept up in this calamity of their leadership. A warning in advance of the spell would give locals time to prepare for the devastation to come. You were content to let punishment fall on the innocent as lightly as Kyrus's will allows. Comforted that you might yet spare lives, you broke the seal of Kyrus's Edict of Storms and read the Overlord's incantation. Bye-bye, Stalwart. The Edict of Storms. Clear skies darkened as you read the final words of the edict. A flurry of winds and rain whipped through the rolling plains and craggy canyons, turning rocks, uprooting trees, and hapless soldiers into hazardous shrapnel. Armed with a measure of foresight, and you were able to remove yourself from the area before the storms grew more violent. Over time, nearby communities told of cyclones consisting of thousands of soldiers worth of limbs, spears, armor, and skulls, and what more, the weather showed no sign of dissipating. Several units of disfavored who fought the enemy in spite of the advancing storm were caught up in the Overlord's magic because they're fucking idiots. A few survivors regrouped and nursed their wounds, and failure to topple the Stalwart Legion shamed them into believing the dead were more fortunate. The name Stalwart fell from use. People started calling it the Blade Grave. On the remade landscape festooned with the iron and bronze armlets of two once great legions. The Kyros's forces departed, and you spared a glance back at the ruined Stalwart, marveling your work. You didn't have long to rest before Tunin called you to service once more. What does it see? What does that keep saying? What is that saying? Alright, whatever. Alright, we did it. Yay. We invaded. Conquest complete. You've reached the end of Kyros's conquest. Do you want to continue or erase your progress and start up? What? Why would I want to continue?